Hello and welcome back to another tutorial with me, Jurassics. Hope you're doing well, and today we are building this micro villager crop farm, and I have to say it is a brilliant, small, efficient design, and this is all thanks to DocM77 and the Sidecraft Patreon server. Saw this on a Hermitcraft episode and thought, my god, this is definitely one that I want to use, and I also want to help everyone else use it as well. So it's a very simple design, but before we do anything else, I'm going to ask you to like, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Don't ask for it very often, so it would mean the world to me, and we're really trying hard to bring up those numbers. So let's take a look at how much these produce in an hour. So in an hour it produces just over 40 stacks of potatoes, 40 stacks of carrots, and 14 stacks of wheat. The seeds can obviously be reused and composted down for bone meal. Unfortunately, for some reason, beetroot seeds don't work, but let's be honest, no one ever really harvests beetroot, even though basically their only use is for red dye. We can get that from flowers, right? First off, we're going to build one of these farms, and then I'm going to show you some little tricks and tips of how to set these up and how to get the most out of them, because there are a couple of little things that you have to bear in mind. But with that said, let's see what materials we'll need for each one. So let's get on with the tutorial. So first up, we're going to place a double chest like so, and then come around the back and place a hopper going into that. Then at the front, we've got our stone brick. Then we will place our dirt on top of the hopper, and then just come up and we're gonna point our observer like so, so it's facing down. And then we're going to come and place our observer like so, so it's facing towards the dirt block. Then what we need to do is come around the back here, place another observer like so, and then we're going to have one facing down into that, and then come around the side and place a dispenser like so. So what is happening is the observer is seeing the crop update, it's sending a pulse which is then being observed by this, that's sending another pulse down into the stone block, which can then be seen by this observer, and then that's sent up and around, and then it dispenses bone meal onto the crop, and the whole system repeats in a loop, which is pretty cool. Now what we can also do is add a lever to our stone block here, so we can turn off the system like so, but it also updates the block whenever we turn it on. So if we have bone meal in the system and we just want to stop the farms from activating, we can turn them off manually, or if they run out of bone meal. It really depends how you set up this farm in your world. There's so many options to use this, but I thought having a on-off switch would be very useful for the large majority of us. So then what we want to do is we want to come up and place a hopper into the top of our dispenser, and then we can put our chest on the back there. Now we're going to place a temporary block on top of the dirt, and on that side we're going to place a composter, on the other glass, and then we're going to just bring that up like so to form a little cage for our villager. And that is the farm effectively done. Now we need to get a villager in. So with some magic we can get our villager in there. There we go, and he's already turned into the farmer because the composter's here. Now there are two routes that you can go with your villager. So if you're using carrot or potato, you can leave the composter there and it doesn't seem to do any difference. However, if you're using wheat, I would suggest you fill up the villagers' inventory with wheat seeds before you do anything else, and also just do a single trade with him just to get him locked in, and then we can remove the composter and place a glass block in that place, and they will happily farm along. So all we need to do now, and typically I find it relatively easy, to come to the top, we're just going to hoe the dirt, place down a carrot, and then that part of the farm is set up. Now let's just load in some bone meal. Now the farm is currently on manual, so it's off at the moment, or we've overridden it. So if we turn that on, we can see it's starting to work, and then the farmer will start harvesting the carrots. There we go, we are off to the races. Sometimes what you'll find, if you don't put the crop into the villager's inventory, you may have to replant once, possibly twice at the least. But now he's got enough in his inventory that isn't being pulled into the chest below. He will just keep going until you run out of bone meal. And as we saw earlier on in the video, he can go and harvest a lot of crops in an hour. And if you're thinking to yourself, Jurassic, how do I get enough bone meal for this farm? I don't want to spend my life in a skeleton spawner. Well, I've got just the farm for you. Check out the moss and bone meal farm at the end of this video, and that will show you how to produce enough bone meal to keep these guys going, and realistically keep you in supply of all your crops that you need. And that is it for today's tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed it, and it's going to be as useful as it is for me. I'm off to go and put a bunch of these in my single player world. See you again soon. Bye.